Hello friends, this is going to be first tutorial in my YouTube channel. Before starting, I would like to say thanks to all of you for subscribing my previous videos related to mobile, and thanks for watching it, liking it. So let's get started. In this particular video tutorial, what I'm going to explain is, to set up a terminal which is more of liking and being more productive using some of the tools. So in this particular setup, what we are going to do is we need some existing things like prerequisite, you can say. So on my screen, you can see I have a prerequisite mentioned here, which is Ubuntu OS and terminal, which is bundled with Ubuntu. So when I say Ubuntu OS, basically I'm going to do this tutorial for Ubuntu operating system. I did the fresh setup for Ubuntu last night, and I'm going to do a setup for the terminal of our liking. So let's get started. So first of all, what we need is basically to open the terminal. So here, let me clear out what we have here, and then before actually setting up the terminal, we also need to set up the get. So what we can do here, as I can highlight here. So what you need to do is just type in sudo apt-get update. This will ensure that all the packages on your system is up to date. So as you can see, it is completed. Next command you need to pass is sudo apt-get install git. So this will actually install the git version for us, the latest available version. So once installation is finished, we can quickly check what version of git we have. So as you can see at the highlighted text here, git version 2.17.1. So while passing this command, it ensures that we have the git installed properly. Okay, so once git is installed, what we are going to do is basically we are going to replace our, not exactly replace, it's kind of alternate. We'll use hyper terminal in place of this default terminal that Ubuntu provides. Reason behind is we have if you go to your website and launch this hyper.is URL, you can see a screenshot here and some. So this hyper terminal is actually quite good looking, and this looks similar to a Mac OS terminal. Apart from that, it has some nice features like splitting the terminal into vertically, horizontally, so that you can use multiple terminal instances in one of the application. So you can split the way you want, right? So I'll be using this for those purposes mainly. Okay. So what we need to do is basically go to this particular site and click on download Hyper for Linux. So you have to wait a bit for to get it completed. This particular Hyper.js terminal is available for Mac OS, Windows, Debian, so different platforms it is available for. Once once this download is completed, so then we can proceed. So meanwhile, I'll quickly walk you through what other features it has, like in themes. So you can choose whatever themes you like. Then there are plugins also like Hyper CWD, Search, some interesting plugins like Hyper Power. There are a lot of other plugins available. If you click on newest, you can see these plugins. So basically, it is completely customizable, which default terminal of Ubuntu doesn't provide that much features. So you can, but in if you use Hyper.js, you can easily do the customizations and all. Apart from that, Hyper.js is one thing, and then we'll be replacing our bash or sh with zsh. So zsh is basically uh, if you just quickly do a search, you can go to zsh.org and see what zsh is. So basically, zsh is a cell which as an alternate we can use. Why I'm going with zsh is basically I want to install oh-my-zsh, which is actually quite powerful with the plugins, and also you can see ZSH provides plugins and which helps you with Git and some other features also. So our download is complete. So let's go into the folder, uh, download folder. Before double clicking it, make sure you go into properties and then permissions and click on allow execution true. Once you're done with this, double click this one and you can see it opens you the Hyper Terminal here. Okay. So if you want to keep this Hyper.js here, it's fine. If you want to move it to some other place, you can move it. That is just fine. So once your Hyper.js terminal is opened, what we have to do is we need to install zsh. So up to here, we are done with the Git configuration, Hyper.js terminal. So once Hyper.js terminal is done, what we need to do is pass in this command sudo apt-get install zsh. So this will ensure that our zsh is installed. All right. So, so as you can see, it says here already the newest version because I had zsh installed as another user. So I already have that installed, but that's fine. That is zsh part. But for oh-my-zsh, basically, I have I'll I have this command. I have to pass this command. I'll put these details in the description below for this video so that it will be easy for you guys to copy paste it in your terminal. So pasting this, what it does is actually it will get the oh-my-zsh from this one. So it fetch that from oh-my-zsh and uh, install sh script is there. And what we are saying here is use it with zsh. So once you paste this and hit enter, it will go to that particular Git repository and it will fetch it to your user locations. As you can see here, I'll highlight quickly home anandk oh-my-zsh. So it has created one of the folder called .oh-my-zsh and it cloned everything there. So that is one step to get to this, but to make zsh actually work, what you have to do is you have to change the shell. So for that, what you have to do is chsh-s, then backtick, then ws which zsh backtick close. Once you hit enter, this part is done, and then you have to actually restart your system here. Okay, so let me try if without restarting it works or not. So I'll quickly go to Hyper. So no, so you have to actually restart the system. Okay, because it this will this particular part will take effect only after restarting. So let me quickly restart the system and I'll get back to this thing. All right, so my system got restarted. Let's launch the Hyper Terminal. Okay, so as you can see the difference here in the terminal itself. So it looks very neat and clean in comparison to the default one. So if I go to the terminal here and if I do bash, you can see how it looks here. So this is the default terminal in Ubuntu. So in, you can see the difference, right? Apart from that, I'll quickly explain some of the features of Hyper.js and then we'll proceed with the some of the plugins that I use on daily basis for oh-my-zsh. So in Hyper.js terminal, one of the feature that I quite like about is the splitting of the different panels. So if I press here Control Shift D, you can see I can have two terminals in one window. All right. And similarly, if I want to split horizontally, I can see Control Shift E. So you can get these kind of layouts very easily. So you can just click on the and activate one of the panel and then either split vertically or horizontally. It's up to us how many we want. To exit any of the panel, you can simply type exit, 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 something like this. So this is one of the cool feature of Hyper.js. Apart from that, you can use plugins, and for that, what you have to do is you go to this menu, hamburger menu, click on Edit, go to Preferences, and here basically there is a plugin section here. Okay, so here you can actually edit the plugins. So for plugins, what you have to do is go to hyper.edge. Okay, and then click on the plugins, and you can see there are a couple of plugins here. Click on one of them. Okay, and there is an install button, so you can use any plugins that is of your liking. This configuration file is actually a JavaScript file, and there are a couple of other options like themes and all, so you can change any of the themes or anything, or do other configuration like changing the font, changing the font size, and all those settings goes here. Do remember that once you change any configuration, you have to reload the Hyper.js. Okay, so that is like summarizing the Hyper.js, why I use it. One, neat look and feel, more features, having the plugin capability. So that is why I use it, and primarily I use it for this panel thing. So I can have one window with different panels to use for different purposes. Okay. Moving to ZSH, as you can see, ZSH shell is loaded with oh-my-zsh default theme, which is Robbie Russell theme. So I'll quickly go here and let's search for oh-my-zsh, and let's go to their GitHub page to see what they offer. So here you can see the plugin section is here, right? So I'll go through some of the plugins, but as you can see, there are a couple of plugins there. But when you install the ZSH first time, you will get the Git plugin by default. How to check the Git plugin? So they have this zsh-rc file, which you can edit and have a look. So they're using VI. I'll go with Nano, which is another editor. So just do zsh-rc, it will open this file. So as you can see, there are a couple of things available here. So I'll focus on this plugin section for now. So here Git is enabled by default. So what this plugin does, so let me quickly exit from this. So as Git is available as a plugin, so what it does is it basically provides you some of the aliases and some of the key features. So if you quickly search for Git oh-my-zsh in browser and go here, just get back and then Git plugin. So you can see what features it provides here. So if you need to type like Git, you can simply do G. So I'll quickly show you. So if I do G hyphen version, it will give you the Git version. So you don't need to type git get complete keyword. Similarly, if you want to just check the status, so instead of doing git status, you can do gst. Okay, so this is a valid command. Okay, so this is the plugin that is quite useful for going through some of the git commands, which is like saving keystrokes and some time. All right, moving to next plugin. So this is one of the plugin that I use in my configuration, and there is two other plugin that I use. One is called zsh-syntax-highlighting. So I'll quickly install this syntax highlighting, and will show you how it works. So okay, so here this is the documentation, and if you go to install.md, you will come to know this thing, right? So in your zshrc, you can see here, right here. So what we need to do is, with a plugin manager, because we have a plugin manager with oh-my-zsh. So what we can do is we can go here in this area, copy this complete value and paste it here. Just paste it here. So it will copy some junk characters also along with it. So make sure you update the edited URL and all. So what it will do is it will start cloning the repository in this particular location, oh-my-zsh custom plugin and this syntax highlighting. Once this is cloned, what we have to do is we can simply open another terminal panel, and then we have to add the zsh syntax highlighting plugin into the plugin section that I have shown before. Important thing here to note is this zsh syntax highlighting plugin must be added at the end. So if you have more than one or two plugins, make sure this is always at the end of the list of plugins. Okay, so quickly edit zshrc file, go to the plugin section. Okay, go to the end, hit enter, put two space just for better formatting, copy this text, and then we can simply paste it here, save the file. Okay, and then load this configuration. To load the configuration again, what you can do is you can use source command, source, and then hit enter. Now, how to check how it is working? So now if you start typing, you can see the text is in red now instead of white color. As soon as this command is valid, it changes into green. So if you do source green, so this is how it helps you. It helps you to identify whether your command is correct or not. So if by mistake, if you type NA something like SOUCE, so you can see it is not valid. So as soon as you fix it, it becomes valid. So this is how you can identify between red and green color, and you can know whether your command is right or not. All right. Moving to the next plugin which I use is zsh-autocomplete. Autocomplete. Okay, move to this section again and then click on install.md, install.md, which is here. Okay, you go here and this is oh-my-zsh section where you have to look at, then copy this complete URL here from here. Okay, copy it and then paste it here, hit enter, but before hitting enter, check, make sure that you don't have any garbage value. Okay, so this will again clone this repository in the plugins folder directory. Again, go to the right hand side panel, open the zshrc, and we have to add this plugin into the list. As I mentioned before, zsh syntax highlighting should be at the end, so I'll be inserting it in between git and zsh syntax highlighting. So again, go to the browser and copy this value and paste it here. You can also type, but better to copy and paste. Then again save the file and exit. Now you have to reload the zshrc file. Once reloaded, now if you start typing source or something, so two things to note here. Now syntax highlighting is also working, as you can see in red, and autocomplete is also working. So this is my most recent command starting with S. So here you can do simply right arrow button and you can see the completion happened. If you type N, it will show you nano. If you type G, it will show you the last git command that I have used. And press the right arrow button and it will complete all the URL and whatever the last command was. So this is quite useful. Reason being, you don't need to, repeat your keystrokes every time. So once you start working on the front end technology and you need to do npm install or some other commands like moving through the directory using touch command or anything, right? So you can, it will give you the auto suggestions to change to the directory and all, and you can quickly complete those. So for example, if I do pwdm on AnandK, I can do cd desktop and then let's create a directory, test, go to the test and then touch index.html. Okay, now if you check pwd, it's there. So I can, one other useful feature is we have aliases. So using oh-my-zsh, usually we do cd dot dot to go back, but here you can simply use dot dot, which is quite useful. You don't need to type 4 keystrokes, simply dot dot. So if you check pwd now, it is here. Another quite useful directory navigation feature is having triple dot. So for example, if I go to desktop test, okay, and if I do triple dot here, it will go directly to my AnandK folder. Okay, so which is actually quite useful. Okay, apart from that, what I wanted to show you is this thing. So one was double dot, then triple dot, okay, and if it is a git directory, so all this suggestion helps. Now if you do cd, you can see it will suggest you desktop test. So you don't need to do cd desktop slash test. You don't need to write that much. You don't need to press tab. It's quite useful. So all of the things are available, so you can directly navigate to that folder, and you can simply do triple dot and it will come to the desktop again. So it will save you a lot of time and it will make you more productive. Okay, apart from this, there are a couple of other plugins available on their website which you can check. Next, moving to theme section. So theme default, as I have told you, this is Robbie Russell that is being used as a default theme. I'll quickly show you how to change a theme, and then you can play around with different theme available on their website. And there are external themes also which have some different configuration, but ultimately everything goes into ZSHRC, ZSS theme section, where you have to provide the name. Okay, so here I'll quickly switch to maybe like funky or something. So save, exit, and then quickly reload. So here I can leverage the autocomplete source ZSHRC, and you can see this has changed. Here also, if I do clear and source, because this two panel runs on different memory, it doesn't refresh automatically. You have to actually do source here also. So you can see there is no highlight, no hint as of now, because ZSHRC being used here is not refreshed. So as soon as we do this, you can see all changes are back in place. So so you can see like my terminal has changed. It has a information about my PC, about user, and some other informations are there. So if you want to play around with themes, what you can do is basically you can go here on this screenshots link, and then they have theme section, and you can look around like what theme you want. Some of the themes like Agnoster, it uses power line font. It is mentioned here also, power line fonts. So you can go here, you have to do setup for fonts, and then you can change your theme to Agnoster to have this look and feel, because it is using some icons and all, which is not available as a default font. So there are other couple of themes here which you have more details if you want, like battery information, node information, and all those stuff. So you play around with these themes and check which one is of your liking and use that. There are plugins available more than this. So to go have a complete list of plugins, you can go to this plugin folder, and you can check each of the directory. So this is separate list of plugins, or you can go to the wiki page where they have like plugins, and then all the list of plugins. You can click on suppose Debian, and then you have all the options available here. So similarly, if I click on Git, I have all the options for Git here. So they have separate wiki page for Git. So this is just to walk you through how you can look for different plugins and themes. So this actually concludes this tutorial. So what we learned here is, I'll quickly summarize. So on a fresh Ubuntu installation, first what we did is we set up the Git, then we installed Hyper Terminal, which is a quite clean and more productive terminal in comparison to the default one that Ubuntu provides. Then we set up ZSH and oh-my-zsh, which provides theming plugins for Git to save keystrokes and to being more productive in like much better UI and all those stuff. Productive because you will be saving keystrokes while using repeated commands. So this is pretty much the configuration that I have for the terminal, and ultimately I use this all the time. For the time being, that's it for this particular video tutorial. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and click on notification bell icon so that you can get notified when any other video comes out. Thank you so much.